DMZ might actually be making its way out of beta and getting to its full launch sooner than we thought. And the reason I'm saying this is because today we got a blog post that goes over all the updates coming to DMZ with Season 3, and oh my gosh, are they adding in so many features that DMZ has so desperately needed for a long time now. Especially DMZ being an extraction-based shooter and still missing some major fundamental things that just are in the game, but now a lot of those are being added with this update, and just some new stuff as a whole are also being added in this update. And because of all that, let's not waste any more time and jump right into the very many things with DMZ's Season 3 update. So the biggest thing that I think is worth talking about is the active duty operator slots. Now they gave us a screenshot of this, and in this screenshot I think it gives you guys a pretty good idea how it's going to work, but I'll do a quick explanation myself too. So in the past, when you would load into DMZ, you would just choose your class and your missions, but now you also have to choose your operator. And this is significant because no longer are your on-soldier items just tied to your account as a whole, instead they are tied to individual operators. As you guys can see in the screenshots, your backpack, kill streak, armor vest, gas mask, and self-revive are all tied to these individual operators. And this is a really great feature for a lot of different reasons, because sometimes you just built up the perfect operator and all the great loot and you just don't want to risk it on one run. Like, you're trying to save that for building 21 or something, but building 21 ain't open for a couple more days, right? Like, you don't have to worry about that anymore. And this is just opens up so many possibilities for how you can change up your different playstyles. And this is made only better because with this update, they also added in new style of backpacks and also new style of armor vests. And these are very significant, and I think they're just going to make this operator slots even better than you imagine they're going to be. And to explain that, let's actually go over all the new armor vests coming to the game. So with this update, there's going to be 4 new armor vests in total: the tempered, revive, comms, and stealth vests. And the blog post explains how all of these works except the temper vest, but I think that's because they think most people know how the temper vest works because it was in Warzone 1. I think it's being added into Warzone 2 also with this update, but for the people who don't know, it's going to have the health equal to a 3-plate vest, except it only takes 2 plates to get to that max health. As for the other ones, let's read through the blog post itself. A 3-plate medic vest grants both faster revives on squad mates as well as faster self-revives when using a self-revive kit. A 3-plate comm vest is like a signal booster and has a few benefits. It increases duration of all UAV technologies, including kill streaks, UAV towers, and radios dropped by AI. It also makes all UAVs an advanced UAV, so you can see the directions of the enemies. The vest also gives you an audio cue when an enemy operator is close to you, like an auditory version of the high alert perk. Finally, the stealth plate carrier comes with a built-in ghost perk, keeping you off the enemy's radar. So this is actually a really cool thing because this could really change your playstyles. Like, I can imagine a lot of solo players are going to maybe want to run that stealth plate one, they want to stay off the radar, or maybe they just want a comms one, I don't know. Either way, it just lets you play the game in a lot of different ways. I imagine that a couple of them could be better, like the stealth plate carrier, like that could probably be a bit better, but the rest are really cool, and I think they could really change up how people play the games. And it's going to be even better because stacking these things on top of your operator slots is just going to make it where you could choose different operators based on the different playstyle you're going to go into that specific game with. But that's not it. There's another thing that could affect all of this, because they're also adding in new backpacks, and this might be the coolest thing, which sounds a bit weird, saying the backpacks are the coolest thing, but trust me, it is very significant. Because with this update, they're adding in 2 new style of backpacks, the Secure and Scavenger. Now, the Scavenger one isn't that cool because all it does is that it takes out that 3rd weapon slot usually found in medium and large backpacks and adds an additional item slot. So it's just the biggest backpack to hold the most stuff minus guns, right? It just gives you the most slots to hold items in, which may be significant for the bartering, which we'll get into in a little bit. But I imagine almost everybody is going to aim for the Secure backpack. And to read directly from the blog post, how the Secure backpack works is that Secure backpacks, as the name suggests, secures items between runs. This means those non-contraband, non-on-soldier items are now secured in your inventory and don't convert to XP upon extraction. Plus, items in the Secure backpack are kept to that active duty soldier if they are eliminated in an extraction zone. So yeah, that last part's just kind of broken in general. Like, okay, you don't have to worry about losing stuff even if you get killed. Like, that's pretty broken on its own. But the main thing that is very significant about this is that now we are able to actually extract with the non-contraband and non-on-soldier items. You know, all the random items you would find around the maps, like the light bulb, the jumper cables, and just stuff like that. All that stuff that just was there for no reason. Well, now we actually extract with that. I know, it's absolutely game breaking, and that may not sound significant, but just think of all the things that developers can now do with them. I mean, if anybody's played any extraction based shooters in the past, that's kind of like the default feature of those games. Like, that's just how it works. You could extract with these random items that don't really normally matter, right? But now we're able to do that with DMZ, and this just leaves so many possibilities for what the developers could actually do with these in the past useless items. And believe it or not, they're doing exactly that, because they're adding in something called the Barter System. And how this is going to work is that in the buy stations around the map, you're going to find a new section that says bartering, and here you're going to find recipes, and these recipes are going to be for things around the maps. Maybe those useless things that I just talked about, you know, the light bulbs, jumper cables, and stuff like that. Well, now they may no longer be useless, because now you could use them for these recipes to build something that's actually much better, or trade for something that's much better. The examples they use here is the new plate carriers, backpacks that we just gone over, and also kill streaks, self-revive, and even keys. So this is something that the game is really needed, and it's only made better because of that secure backpack. Because think about it, like if you played a game and you tried to get, let's just say, the new plate carrier from the barter, and you saw the items you needed for the recipe, but you weren't able to find all the items you needed and you had to extract because you were about to get gassed out or something like that. Well, instead of just being screwed over and having to restart from scratch next time, instead, if you have that secure backpack, you could extract and you have all of those items saved to that character. So all you have to do now is just run another game of DMZ, find the only one last item you were lacking, and then go to the barter and swap it for what you need. That is exactly why all this is so significant. That's why the secure backpack is great, and that's why the barter system is also great. And those are kind of the main things coming to the game, but there's a couple other smaller things I think we could quickly fly through before we wrap everything up. First, and something that I think is really important to a lot of people, is that there will be no reset to your missions. Like all of your missions, your faction missions, like all those that reset in the past for previous seasons, well, no longer that's going to happen. Instead, they're just adding a new faction mission, and that's it. They're not going to reset anything. So definitely great news there. Another thing is that they're adding in a workbench, and at this contraband workbench, it's going to let us customize our gun for a cash prize. So if you have a lot of cash and you have a gun that you want to customize with the attachments that you really want, all you have to do is find a contraband workbench, and you'll be able to customize that gun however you want with whichever attachments you want. Now they're adding in a really cool piece of loot, which is called the skeleton key, which if you guys don't know what skeleton key means, it just means it's a key that can open any door. And that's exactly what the skeleton key does. It could open any door on any map in DMZ. You don't really have to worry about finding anything. If you find the skeleton key, it could open all of the doors everywhere, which is a very, very powerful item. So I imagine this is going to be super rare, and because of that, it could be super stressful walking around with this. Like, imagine dying and losing this. Oh my gosh, I wouldn't forgive myself. Also, they're adding in a supply run contract, which if you guys play Warzone, you know what that is. I don't really care though. And finally, they're adding in the heavy chopper to DMZ. And this may not sound that significant, but it's actually a little cool, because even if you find the heavy chopper, you actually can't just get in it, because what you have to do is actually go find a gas canister and bring it to it, then fill up with gas, because it's going to have 0 gas every single time. And you may think, okay, it's just a heavy chopper, whatever, which sure, you can just use it as a heavy chopper and fly around the map, but also you can literally extract with the heavy chopper. Yeah, if you just take the heavy chopper and just fly it towards the outskirts of the map and just fly outside the map, you're literally just going to exfil. So it's like your own personal exfil vehicle that you fly. But that kind of wraps up all of the updates coming to DMZ with Season 3. So much good stuff here. I absolutely love a lot of things that they're adding here, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do too. So let me know down in the comment sections below. Regardless though, that's going to wrap it up for me. If you guys did enjoy the video and you found it informative in any way, shape, or form, definitely do all the normal YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, bell, share, or any of that great stuff. But I'm going to go, and I'll catch you guys next stream, video, or whatever the heck it may be. And laters, guys.